So Rachel, why is this such a great place to shoot with Autocapture and play with this new lens?
So I've been coming to this location and working with badgers for 5 to 6 years now, and over that time I've been fortunate enough to capture some incredible images, but I'm now looking for that unique shot that I've not been able to photograph yet, which is where I think Autocapture has got the answers, because of course badgers are such highly sensitive subjects to work with. The new technology is going to help me and my camera to get into places that I haven't been able to before.
That's fascinating. And what sort of types of images do you think you're going to get?
So I'm now looking for something different. So I've got the portraits of the badgers, I've got them in the incredible bluebell woodlands and in other areas of the location, but I'm looking for something that I haven't seen people do before, and that is to photograph badgers from within a tree. And I have this incredible location on the land where we have this tree with a set within it, but because of the proximity, I've not been able to photograph it yet due to the distance and being too close to the badgers. So I would like to try with a wide lens to get this shot. So this location I think has got a lot of potential, because I can certainly see signs of badger activity, but perhaps not enough to make me want to risk being here all night and miss other action that's happening around the location. So we've put a camera up just to see what's going to happen. I think the results will be quite good judging by the activity, but it just proves how valuable Autocapture can be to see and photograph what's happening whilst I'm not here myself.
Talk to me about when we've set this camera up here, we've got sort of not disturbing the natural habitat of the badgers.
Yes, so not disturbing the wildlife is my absolute priority as a wildlife photographer. We are in their habitat rather than ours, and badgers are highly sensitive animals, so while their eyesight is quite poor, their sense of smell is 800 times stronger than our own, and they use their scent to scent mark around and communicate with other badgers. So the first thing that we'll do when we set this camera up is to make sure we don't leave any scent, so we're not touching any of the grass or areas around it. And of course we want to get in and get out as quickly as possible with no talking whilst we are setting up the camera, because when we're there we will be on top of the badger's set, so we have to tread very lightly and keep noise to a very low level.
So we've got the camera on a USB power pack as well. So USB-C, it's going to charge the camera while we've left it here. We're going to get up to about 14 hours shooting on it, aren't we?
That's great, yeah, absolutely. Because of course we can predict when the badgers will be coming out through having experience here, but we don't know for sure. So while we hope the badgers will come out slightly earlier, it could be an hour or 2 hours after the time that I've predicted. So it's really handy to have that extra battery life, just so we know that the camera is going to be on and photographing at all times.
So we're about 2 to 3 hours before the badgers are due to come out.
Yeah.
We've got to set the camera up to take into account the light that we're going to be shooting in 2 to 3 hours time.
Yes.
So we're planning this with auto ISO, aren't we? And we've got what, 1/200th of a second we put in onto the camera.
Yeah.
We're shooting at f4 because we're on the 24-120. We've moved it back from the set entrance, so again it's not going to disturb the badgers when they appear.
Yes, so as you say, we are taking into account all of these different elements that are out of our control. Of course, I've been here quite a few times and I know that the sun's setting in this direction, and I myself can judge the light levels just through having experience at the set. So I think what we've gone for will give us the best results.
That's excellent. Let's go up to the other location now and see what other shots we can get there.
Yeah, perfect.
So we're down here at the outlier set.
Yes, correct.
Talk me through what we're going to be doing here.
So this outlier set is very unique to one that I've ever seen before. So firstly, an outlier set is a place of safety for the badgers to retreat to when they're out and about foraging. But secondly, this one is inside a tree. And I have not seen a photograph of a badger from inside a tree before. So this is what I'm going to be trying to photograph this evening with Autocapture.
So we've got 2 cameras set up here, haven't we?
Yes.
We've got one doing video and one doing stills. One is clamped onto the branch here, and then we've got the other camera lower down to give that shot through the tree, hopefully, as the badgers make their way round. So the Autocapture settings we've got here, these are both on motion, aren't they?
They are.
And that gives us the opportunity for when the badgers move through, any sort of movement of the badger should trigger the cameras, both for video and stills. And that hopefully will give us those great compositions.
Yes, and we've also blocked out some of the areas of roots that are around the tree, just because we have fairly strong winds today. So we don't want any of the root movement to distract from the badgers. When I've observed in the past few nights, I've had up to 3 badgers using this area. So potentially we could have quite a few in there at the time. So the motion trigger will be the best for this.
We've got the other one on detection, haven't we?
Yes, we do, because it's a slightly different setup up there.
Your composition there, that should be awesome.
Yes, and again, it's something that I've never seen before. From the back of the camera, it looks like it's got a lot of potential. So now we just need to hope for the badgers.
And we're going to go up there. We've got the 180 to 600 on the Z9 here.
Yeah.
And we're going to be crouch down low there so we're not in the sight of the badgers, and then we're going to get some sort of long lens images.
Yeah, you're right. We're going to move further away. We're going to keep downwind of the badgers so our scent doesn't disturb them, and then we can photograph from a safe distance so that we still get the natural behaviours that we want from the badgers, and we still get them out and about for as long as we want.
Sounds good. So we've come the other side of the tree now. What sort of behaviours are we expecting to see?
So in the summer months when the weather's a bit warmer, the first thing the badgers will do when they come out of their set is to give themselves a good scratch, because they don't have the room to do it underground. So we will be looking for grooming and allo grooming, so that's when the badgers groom each other. And I know through observation that at this set we have a female badger, a sow, and 2 cubs with her. So they're very, very playful at the moment. Only last night were the cubs climbing all over the sow. So any sort of playful behaviour, socialising, allo grooming is what we'll be looking out for.
And we'll see them foraging for food as well?
Yes, very hopefully. So badgers follow the same ancestral foraging paths every single night. They are real creatures of habit. They'll be looking for fallen berries, bulbs, seeds and insects as well.
Oh, this looks good. I can't wait to see them when they come out. I'm so excited about this.
Have you seen a badger?
I've never seen a wild badger before,
okay,
so I'm
that's so exciting.
Yeah. So while Rachel's been shooting down at this set here, I've got this camera back and it's got 4,000 images on it. Yeah. Oh, look at this one. That's really cool. Looking straight at the camera, isn't it? And it came out the main set as well here.
I love it when it's sniffing the air as well.
That looks...
These are behaviours that...
Look at that one.
Oh my goodness.
That's really cool.
These are behaviours that you quite often don't see, just like that, just the sniff in the air.
Yeah, it came out the main set there.
Beautifully in the frame as well, just around the foliage.
That was a great place to set that up based on their behaviours.
Perfect composition.
That's really, really cool.
So we've just retrieved the cameras back from where we've left them overnight. And I'm really excited to look at the pictures. If this comes off, then it's a shot I've been wanting to get for years. Are you ready to take a look?
Ready.
Okay. Oh, look!
That is awesome. Look at that.
Oh, we've got it right down in the front. Oh, and this is a young cub as well, so it's really nice to get the cub. They're so inquisitive. I'm not surprised that it was in the tree.
You pleased with those?
These, or it comes right
one.
up to the camera. I'm so pleased with these. I could never get these without that auto capture. And it's so great that it captures so many as well, because of course there's quite a few where it's not perhaps looking, and then you come across the one. So I don't often do a lot of video when I'm here, I just take the stills photos, but that composition was too good not to record at the same time, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's on here.
That looks fantastic.
There it comes.
With the way it's going through there as well. Video as well.
Really nice.
So we've got video,
and
wide angle stills, long lens stills as well.
Covered all bases.
So in one shoot, auto capture just gives us options that we just wouldn't have had before. So we know from the shots last night that we've got some fantastic badger activity up in the woods in front of us. So I think tonight, considering we've got such perfect stuff down here, we set ourselves up in the woods at a nice respectable distance with the long lenses and on auto capture to see what else we can get up there with those cubs. That sounds like a great plan. We've been photographing at 2 different badger sets. Tell me a little bit more about badger behaviour so it can help people with their photographs. So the first thing to always keep in mind when you're photographing badgers is to stay at a respectable distance at all times, and secondly to remain downwind. A badger's got very poor eyesight, but their sense of smell is 800 times stronger than our own, so they will always smell you, so you need to make sure you're downwind. Thirdly, no sudden noises or any sudden movements, and when you're looking for a set that's active, what you're looking for is some fresh soil and some fresh digging around the area, and perhaps even a badger latrine, which is an area where they deposit their feces. You can find them just lying around the outskirts of the set as a territorial marker. And then of course it's just a waiting game. You can sit out in the summer, the early evenings are the best time to look for badgers. In the winter they do go into a state of torpor, so it's unlikely that you would see them if you were trying to photograph them. So I would personally suggest from late April
to early August to your best time to sit out and try and photograph a badger.
And again, with the clothing, we've got very muted colours on here. We're blending into the forest to a degree.
Yes.
So is that sort of good advice as well?
Yeah, it's very good advice. Of course, their eyesight's quite poor, so as long as you're not wearing extraordinarily bright colours, you should be okay. The most important thing to remember, depending on the location of your set, of course we're in a wooded area here, but if the set was in some farmland, you would not want to stick out on the horizon as a big dark shadow. So if that were the case with the location of your set that you were working at, you'd want to make sure that you're tucked into the tree line or against the foliage, just so you're not breaking the shape of the horizon, because then of course the badgers will notice that silhouette.
So just how important is it to actually study behaviour of the badgers before we actually set ourselves up?
With badgers, it's probably the most important thing that you can do to contribute towards your photography, because badgers are real creatures of habit. So by spending time at the location and observing and understanding their behaviour, you will be able to pick up on which foraging path they're taking when they emerge from the set, the first behaviour, which is normally scratching here, and you'll start to recognise different individuals. Some of them would be more tolerant to your presence and your camera than others, so when they emerge you can know that you can focus your time and your energy onto those. And then of course just understanding your limits when you're around the badger set is very important, so observing the behaviour before you photograph it is key with badgers.
And that helps us set up the auto capture cameras.
Yes.
Where we were setting them up close,
Yep.
they're remote effectively.
Because of course we want to know where those foraging pathways are, so that we're not putting a camera in the pathway of the badger or anywhere near the set that we know they use it as a social area or a grooming area or a foraging area, or even worse, in their latrine. So it is very important that we keep an eye on everything for, you know, a good few weeks or months it takes to build up this knowledge, because of course the behaviour isn't repeated identically every single night. So with badgers it really is a case of perseverance, but it always pays off if you put it in.
That sounds fantastic. Let's go and set up over there. The badger set's a bit down there, so let's go and get ready. We've got 3 or 4 hours before we sort of start shooting,
good
and
light.
we've good light coming through the forest tonight as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully a bit different to what we got last night. So Rachel, we've got the camera set up here, 2/50th of a second, f4, it's on auto ISO. We're setting this for about 2.5 hours time ahead.
Yeah.
So the auto ISO here really helps us with this changing light, because it's gone from bright light, it's clouded over. There's some breaks in the cloud on the low level over there as well, so the sun might come back out. So we're set up for a couple of hours time here. We've got auto capture running here, we've got it on detection. We've masked out this left-hand side of the frame here, so
yeah, and that's great in this wind as well, so that we can do that.
yeah. If any of these trees or these ferns down here pick up, because these ones we can see that it's a gentle breeze coming through here, so we don't want that to accidentally trigger the camera. So that works really, really well there. We're on animal detection. We're on size 1. And we're good to go, really.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course we've positioned ourselves downwind again, so hopefully from the observations we've been making, the badgers will be coming from this direction, so the camera will be downwind of their scent, and this is one of their foraging pathways just here, so we should capture them in action.
Looking good. Let's go and head up over where we're going to be with the long lenses.
Great.
So of course we just had the badgers to come out, but they were still quite dense in the undergrowth. They just used the latrine and then went back underground. So I think while we've still got an hour of light, it would be a good idea to head to one of the other locations.
Yeah, and we still have the auto capture camera running up there, so we'll still get something if they do come back out.
Yeah, if they come out later than expected, then at least we've got that running, so we can try to photograph down there.
That should be good. Let's go and have a look at the other set down here.
Okay.
What an amazing night.
I am so happy.
Have you got the shot you wanted?
I've got the shot. I have got the shot that I've not been able to do ever before without having auto capture. Something I've wanted for years and years, and tonight it happened.
And we've been back up to the set we left, and we got that shot. The badgers come right up onto the top there and then looked at the camera.
It
That
just
is
goes to show how valuable the auto capture is, because of course we left because we thought there could be better elsewhere that we can photograph with the 180 to 600 lens and the 600 f4, and we of course didn't know what was going on there, and it just goes to show that if auto capture wasn't running at that set, we'd have missed those shots entirely. I mean, you always say you can't be in more than one place at once, but you truly can now.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant. It's been such a great evening. Yeah, superb. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.